Welcome back to Rudy's 1/6 World for the next episode in my new figure showcase series, where I'll be doing a slight unboxing / review / posing session with the newest addition to my collection. And today we'll be looking at my first purchase from Exo6 and their Star Trek Voyager line, and that figure is Captain Catherine Janeway herself. Now, I was always interested in the line, having watched Voyager as a kid, but the sculpt in the promo pics looked really soft, and I was a little hesitant as a result. With all the pre-orders Exo6 is putting out, and with me rewatching the Voyager series, I really had a desire to take a chance with this one. So let's get right into it, and start off with everything that comes in the package. Now, you obviously have Captain Janeway herself, and we'll look at her uniform and sculpt in a little more depth later. Then she comes with a hexagonal display base, which also includes an interchangeable print to create a larger transporter pad with all of your figures, so it's a nice touch. I should note that the interchangeable prints are nice thicker plastic, so I'm not worried that they'll get easily damaged. She also comes with 4 sets of interchangeable hands, and while I would normally breeze over these, I do want to take a closer look because I think these are really well done. If we look more closely at the hands, you can tell that Exo6 didn't get lazy here, and they actually gave us really well sculpted details for all the different and hands that can hold all the different accessories. And it might be hard to see, but the paint apps on the hands are really well done, where you have some natural freckling on the skin. And if you look at the palms, or for some of the gesture hands holding the accessories, there's some nice texturing and folding of the skin. So it's easy to take these for granted, but they look really good. As far as the other accessories, she comes with a coffee cup, which is nicely painted and does include some darker colored plastic inside to imitate coffee, which we all know Captain Janeway is a nut for. She also comes with a phaser rifle, although I have to admit that's not my favorite design from the series. And she comes with a tablet, her hand phaser, and the tricorder. And this is where Exo6 really shines. The phaser is nicely painted and detailed and fits nicely in the holster, but the holster is magnetic, so it easily attaches to the figure. Same thing with the tricorder. It's nicely painted and detailed and fits nicely in its holster, but the really nice thing here is that it opens and closes being held together via magnets, so there's no joint or hinge that could break, which makes the accessory look that much better. So again, it's kind of what I thought originally with Exo6, and it's that their accessories are top notch. Now let's take a look at her uniform, and it looks great. It isn't the more intricate gray uniforms we started seeing with First Contact in the later seasons of DS9, so they're still very reminiscent of the earlier uniforms. But it's well done with nice stitching, and it's a great material choice that actually has some nice texturing to it, so it doesn't just look too simple. Also, I like the stitching between the black and red of the jumpsuit because it makes it look like a single piece as opposed to just a sewn together element. The boots are also good with some nice detailing, and I could say the same with her turtleneck undershirt. And then you have the comm badge on her chest and her captain pips on the neck. They're all nicely done and detailed and look great, so I'm really satisfied with the work they're doing here. Now let's get to the big question mark, and that's the sculpt. I'll be honest, I sat with the figure out on my desk for a few days, and I kept looking at the sculpt, trying to figure out where I landed with it. Is it as bad as I thought from the promo pics? No. Is it one of the best head sculpts I've ever seen? Also no. It definitely falls in the middle, and I might say it might actually fall a little lower than middle, which is really disappointing when you look at everything else that Exo6 has gotten right here. Now, you can tell it's supposed to be Captain Janeway. The hair's okay. They tried to texture it and layer it, and they did a decent job, but where the hair meets the sculpt, there's a distinctive seam, so it's clear that the hair is a separate piece. And that's where other figure companies have done a much better job, with either putting some paint and texturing at the hairline, or having it be having the front part of the hair be part of the sculpt, so that you don't see this joint right there. The face itself is pretty smooth with a decent paint application for the skin, so I don't think that's the major problem here. I think the paint choice might be the bigger problem. It just comes across a little toyish, almost a little plastic, to be honest. So I think all that makes the sculpt much more soft, which hurts. But what I really think after sitting with this, what I think keeps the sculpt from working as well as it should are the eyes. I'm going to do something that I haven't done before, but I'm going to compare her head sculpt to a bunch of others in my collection to show you what I mean. Exo6, you could definitely tell they tried to make the eyes look more lifelike with some reflective paint. But look at this for comparison. This is the original Avengers Black Widow, so an older Hot Toys figure. But look at the eyes. Hot Toys has definitely improved on this recently, but even here, they were really focused on getting the eyes nicely detailed with a really glossy reflective paint. And the eyes even show some vein details, so great paint applications. And it really elevates the figure. That's where Exo6 can improve. Because right now with the eyes, it looks very dollish, very toyish. And I know it's a toy, but we get these figures because of the attention to detail and the realism. It's not that it's a bad sculpt or that there's one thing egregiously wrong here, but I think it's the combination of things that add up to make the sculpt look worse for wear. And unfortunately, I did end up standing the figure next to both the Black Widow from Avengers and one of the newer Black Widows from Captain America Civil War. And I hate to say it, but it's just glaring how superior those sculpts are compared to this one. The paint applications on the skin, the texturing, the eyes, even the hairline where there's the seam. Hot Toys painted in some hair on the forehead to make the sculpt look much more realistic. The Janeway it looks plopped down on the body. It just doesn't look like it matches. Now, if you were to cover the sculpts and just focus on the uniforms, I think it's really on par. But the sculpt is what just does the figure in. So what are my overall thoughts as we look at some fun poses with the figure? I think Exo6 is doing a great job with going deep into the license and trying to complete lines. I don't think anyone else is really looking to do these figures, unfortunately. The accessories are great, the uniforms are really well done, great tailoring, great attention to detail. So it ultimately comes down to the sculpts. If Exo6 can improve on those, I think this line would definitely be elevated. We've seen with other releases that their sculpts can be really good. Like, I think the Picard sculpt was amazing. The Data, also good, although maybe the fact that he's supposed to look a little plasticky kind of helped. And it does look like the Q that just got released is looking good as well. So maybe it's something that they're actively working to improve as we speak. But that's the one thing that's holding this figure back for me, especially when you compare with what other companies are offering. So I didn't mean for this to become such an overly negative review, and it really wasn't meant to be that. I do like the figure a lot. I think it's a great representation of the character. It's the best version of Janeway we've gotten to date. I think my disappointment really stems from the fact that they got so much right, and it's just, if they had done a little bit better on the sculpt, it would have just been perfect. And I also really like the character of Captain Janeway. I thought she was great on Voyager, and it was such a unique captain. Each captain, Picard, Cisco, and Janeway having their own unique characteristics. So it was just disappointing that, I wanted her character to have such a great figure, and unfortunately I think it was just a little underwhelming. So I think that's where my disappointment stems from. Do I like the figure? Absolutely. I think it's a great Star Trek figure. I hope Exo6 continues to improve the sculpts, and I think I may dive deeper into the line, and I might order Tuvok. It looks like Chakotay's on the way. 7, again, such a critical character. For me, I really liked Voyager, so I might take the plunge on her as well. So I'm definitely by no means stopping myself from continuing on with the line, but I just wish Captain Janeway was a little bit better. I'm disappointed because I liked the character so much, and again, Exo6 got so much right here. Now, if you're enjoying the content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll touch base on the next video.